Today we're going to talk about Super Saiyan, and we'll relate it to financial abundance a little bit, but it's more going to be based on survival energy. So Super Saiyan is your gateway to financial abundance, and let me just clarify. Most of us, if not 90% of the population, lives off of survival. And we're not talking everybody's scared and everybody doesn't know what they're doing, and we're talking about the lower base level emotions like desire, fear, shame, guilt, all of these lower level emotions that are meant to actually be cleared and transmuted into love, abundance, acceptance, clarity, freedom, joy, peace. And Super Saiyan really is your first ability to tap into your divine blueprint and be I am the one that has the enough power and empowerment to get the job done. I really like to think of Super Saiyan as you just stepping into your power. You are confident, you are empowered sovereign being who is supposed to be able to take back their divine blueprint, who is able to take any energy or anything that is given around them and use it for their own success, use it for their own empowerment. Okay, so everything around you can be treated as something to test you and lift you up. And that's when you start seeing life as a game, that every single situation can be used to transmute more financial abundance, more success, more prosperity, more gratitude. Once you start seeing life like that, every single thing could be used for growth. If that's playing video games, or if that's going to the grocery store, if that's folding your laundry. Seriously, your mindset is what matters. I saw a thing about Terry Crews the other day where it's he would fold he would do every single job and say in his mind, I'm receiving $1 million for doing this job. Okay, that is how you should see life. And Super Saiyan is really the lower level of this transformation, that you have to understand that there is golden radiant energy, your soul energy, that is yours, that you are feeding into these lower level things. And once we do learn that, we can use our anger and our frustration, our rage, and use those lower level emotions for our own personal power. We can imagine it transmuting in this golden light and actually turning into our power. And anytime that there is something that is holding us back from our dreams, that is more fuel to the fire. You're not in survival anymore, you're thriving, okay? Anytime something says that you're surviving, that you don't have the personal power, say, no, I am a sovereign, empowered being that can get shit done. I am a Super Saiyan. I am a magician. I have the ability to transmute any light, any energy, anything that comes my way. Any sickness, any pain. I am that powerful. Okay, once you accept that you are that powerful and you keep telling yourself, I am that powerful, I don't care what anything says, even what my mind is saying, I am that powerful. Okay, and later I think we'll get into Super Saiyan 4, because that's when it really gets fun, when you start seeing those lower level energies and systems as play. I was talking to ChatGPT about it, because it's there's this part where it's Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker. It's basically treating black magic like it's a toy, and you're just boop. And if you can visualize that concept in your mind, I do this a lot with my light languages too. It's if you can visualize that concept in your mind with UI Goku, with Super Saiyan, with you being that powerful, that starts to portray. And the more you focus on you being that powerful, where it's a situation comes to you and you just flick it in the head and it just goes, and then you attract all the best things because you were just that powerful, you were just that gorgeous, you were just that beautiful, that you deserve everything. And just because you feel these lower level emotions does not mean you are that you are gorgeous, loving, personal power, empowerment. You are an empowered being. I don't know. And then we should go down the route of the pure heart, because to really get in touch with your divine essence and actually make massive impact in your own reality but others, you have to understand that this heart right here will never steer you wrong. So if you're following your passion, your dream, or just like you want to make money or you want to help people, whatever you want to do. You know, having a pure heart, it really just comes down to living from this heart center. Okay, what makes this feel right? You'll know like what is right and wrong when you're living through your heart. Anybody could tell you like this is right, this is wrong. Okay, and like, yes, some of us might have limiting beliefs about what is right, what is wrong, what is self-sacrifice and what is not. You know, you have to understand that you are more important, and that the more you raise yourself up, you are raising others up. Okay, the more you get into your spiritual essence and the spiritual concepts and the ability to tap into your emotions and fuel your energy with ki or visualization or affirmations, the more empowered you should feel. Okay, none of these things should ever make you feel less empowered. Anything that you learn should always be taken with discernment, because you always want the thing that's going to empower you more. If that's a negative thing that's going to help you feel more empowered, or a positive thing. Because a lot of people will tell you on like YouTube videos or like gurus or books or this or that, like they'll give you all this advice, but there's a lot of limiting beliefs that come with everybody's story, because that's my story, that's your story. We all have a story to tell. Discernment is very important, because we all have things and systems that work for us but might not work for others. Okay, so you have to understand that if something is lifting me up, I can take it in. If something's not, ran out of storage. But what I will say is that you have to figure out what makes you feel lighter, more empowered, more a Super Saiyan, and more financially abundant, more gratitude, more accepted and worthy. And release what's limiting you and holding you back from your dream life. I will leave it at that. I hope you have a wonderful, gorgeous day as always. And yeah, check out my Stan.Store for my light language activation courses for Super Saiyan, Ultra Instinct. We're adding Rose soon for Destiny Swap retrievals. And yeah, there'll be more in the future. And Patreon. Love ya. Peace.